the world changed in an instant. One minute, life was normal, a tapestry of familiar sounds and routines. Phones buzzed, cars hummed, and the electric hum of civilization thrummed along. Then, silence. A wave of invisible energy, an EMP attack, swept across the land, leaving a chilling quiet in its wake. The lights flickered and died, plunging homes and cities into darkness. Cars coasted to a stop, engines falling silent. The digital world we rely on, our connection to each other and the flow of information, blinked out of existence. In the eerie stillness, a chilling realization dawned. Our world, so reliant on technology, was incredibly vulnerable. This wasn't a localized blackout. This was different. This was an attack on the very fabric of our modern existence. We've built our lives on a foundation of electricity, a fragile web of interconnected systems. Power grids snake across continents, carrying energy that fuels our homes, businesses, and communication networks. But this reliance on electricity is also our Achilles heel. An EMP attack, whether from a natural solar flare or a deliberate act of aggression, has the power to sever the arteries of our electric world. It's a threat that looms large, a silent and invisible danger capable of plunging us into chaos. Imagine a world without the internet, without cell phones, without the constant flow of data that has become our lifeline. Hospitals would struggle to function, emergency services would be crippled, and the systems we depend on for food, water, and security would grind to a halt. The threat is real, and the consequences are dire. But the power to prepare, to build resilience and safeguard ourselves and our loved ones, rests in our hands. EMP stands for Electromagnetic Pulse. It's a sudden, invisible burst of electromagnetic energy that can disrupt or destroy electronic equipment over a wide area. Unlike a physical explosion, you won't see it coming, and you won't hear it. But its effects can be just as devastating. There are a few ways an EMP can be generated. One is a high-altitude nuclear detonation, where a nuclear weapon is detonated high above the Earth's surface. This creates a powerful EMP that can cover a vast geographical region. Another source is a natural event called a solar flare, a massive burst of energy from the sun. While less common than man-made EMPs, a large enough solar flare could have a similar devastating impact on our electrical grid. Then there are non-nuclear EMP devices specifically designed to create a localized electromagnetic pulse. These are smaller in scale but can still disable electronics within a targeted area. Regardless of the source, the result is the same: a sudden surge of energy that can cripple our modern way of life. Imagine a wave of energy, invisible to the naked eye, washing over the land. This energy, generated by a nuclear detonation, a solar flare, or a non-nuclear EMP device, interacts with the Earth's magnetic field, creating a fluctuating electric current in any conductive material it encounters. This current surge is what wreaks havoc on electronics. Think of it like a power surge on steroids, overloading circuits, frying transistors, and rendering sensitive electronic components useless. The more complex the device, the more vulnerable it is. Computers, smartphones, radios, even the microchips in our cars, all are susceptible to the damaging effects of an EMP. And it's not just individual devices that are at risk. Power grids, communication networks, and the intricate systems that control our infrastructure are all highly vulnerable. The damage inflicted by an EMP attack depends on the strength of the pulse and the proximity of the electronic equipment to the source. A high-altitude nuclear EMP could affect an entire continent, while a smaller, localized EMP might only disable electronics within a few miles. The immediate aftermath of a widespread EMP attack would be nothing short of catastrophic. The lights would go out, not just in your home but across entire cities, potentially even entire regions. Communication systems would go dark, cell phones rendered useless, internet and television signals gone. Transportation would grind to a halt. Cars with electronic ignitions would stall, and electric grids powering mass transit systems would fail. Airplanes caught in the air at the time of the pulse could experience system failures, making safe landings a challenge. Emergency services reliant on communication and technology would be severely hampered. Hospitals, dependent on electricity to power life-saving equipment, would face dire situations. Food and water distribution networks, heavily reliant on computer systems and electronic communication, would be thrown into disarray. The sudden loss of the systems we depend on would lead to widespread panic and confusion. The fabric of society, held together by the invisible threads of technology, would begin to unravel. The initial moments after an EMP attack would be defined by a deafening silence. The familiar hum of electricity, the constant chatter of communication, the comforting glow of screens, all gone, replaced by an unnerving quiet. For many, the first sign that something was terribly wrong would be the sudden darkness. Homes and businesses plunged into darkness would become alien landscapes. Refrigerators would fall silent, the steady whir of their compressors stilled. Traffic lights would blink out, leaving intersections dark and potentially dangerous. The comforting routines of daily life would be abruptly shattered. As minutes ticked by and the realization of the situation sank in, a sense of unease would begin to spread. People would step out of their homes, seeking answers, seeking connection in the darkness. But the usual sources of information, television, radio, internet, would be silent, offering no explanations, no comfort. The first hours after an EMP attack would be a time of profound disorientation and uncertainty, a stark reminder of our dependence on the technologies we often take for granted. As the initial shock subsided, the true extent of the disaster would become horrifyingly clear. The breakdown of communication networks would leave people isolated, unable to reach loved ones or call for help. Rumors and misinformation would spread quickly, fueling fear and uncertainty. Transportation systems, crippled by the EMP, would leave cities paralyzed. Delivery trucks would be stranded, grocery store shelves would quickly empty, and access to fuel would become a major concern. The intricate supply chains that keep our modern world running would grind to a halt. Hospitals, overwhelmed by patients with pre-existing conditions reliant on electrical medical equipment, would face agonizing choices. Without power, ventilators would fail, dialysis machines would fall silent, and surgical procedures would become impossible. The breakdown of law and order would become a real threat. Looting and violence, fueled by desperation and fear, could erupt as people struggled to secure basic necessities for themselves and their families. The thin veneer of civilization, so dependent on the smooth functioning of technology, would begin to wear thin. Amidst the chaos and despair, the indomitable spirit of humanity would begin to shine through. Neighbors would help neighbors, sharing food, water, and information. Communities would come together, pooling resources and relying on each other for support. Those who had prepared for such an event would emerge as leaders, their knowledge and foresight proving invaluable. They would teach others how to purify water, start fires without matches, and find food in the absence of grocery stores. The importance of human connection, often overshadowed in our tech-saturated world, would take center stage. Families would draw closer, finding solace and strength in their bonds. Stories would be shared, skills would be taught, and a sense of community would blossom in the face of adversity. The aftermath of an EMP attack would be a time of great hardship, but it would also be a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. It would be a time to rediscover the importance of community, self-reliance, and the enduring power of hope. In a world reeling from an EMP attack, having access to even basic electronics can be a game changer. A handheld radio could become your lifeline to the outside world, a solar-powered flashlight, a beacon in the dark. Protecting these vital tools from the devastating pulse is crucial, and that's where a Faraday cage comes in. Named after the scientist Michael Faraday, a Faraday cage is a simple yet effective enclosure that blocks electromagnetic fields. It works by distributing the electrical charge from an EMP around the exterior of the cage, preventing it from reaching the sensitive electronics inside. You can create a DIY Faraday cage using readily available materials. A metal trash can with a tight-fitting lid, a metal ammo box, or even a microwave oven, unplug it, can serve as the basic structure. The key is to ensure a complete, unbroken conductive layer around the device you want to protect. Line the inside of your container with cardboard or non-conductive material to prevent the device from touching the metal. Wrap your electronics in bubble wrap or cloth for added protection, then place them inside the container. The Faraday cage won't stop an EMP attack, but it can give your essential electronics a fighting chance of survival. Your home is your sanctuary, and in a post-EMP world, it will be your first line of defense. Preparing your home for an EMP attack involves a multi-pronged approach, focusing on securing essential resources, enhancing security, and building self-sufficiency. Water is paramount. Store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 2 weeks. Consider investing in a water filtration system or learning how to purify water using simple methods like boiling or solar distillation. Food security is equally critical. Stock up on non-perishable items like rice, beans, canned goods, and dried foods. Learn about long-term food preservation techniques like canning, pickling, and drying to extend the shelf life of your supplies. Think about alternative energy sources. A solar-powered generator can provide electricity for essential appliances, while a wood-burning stove can heat your home and cook food. Learn basic home maintenance and repair skills to address issues that may arise in the absence of readily available professional help. In the aftermath of an EMP attack, having a well-stocked emergency kit could mean the difference between life and death. Your kit should contain essential items needed for survival, from basic first aid to tools for communication and self-defense. Start with a sturdy backpack or duffel bag. Pack enough food and water for at least 72 hours, along with a first aid kit containing bandages, antiseptics, pain relievers, and any personal medications. Include a hand crank weather radio, a compass, and a map of your local area. Don't forget essential tools. A multi-tool with a knife, pliers, and a screwdriver can be invaluable. Pack a whistle for signaling, duct tape for repairs, and a lighter or waterproof matches for starting fires. Consider adding items specific to your needs and location. Insect repellent, sunscreen, and cold weather gear are essential depending on your climate. A firearm, if you own one legally and are properly trained, can provide security in desperate situations. Remember, your EMP emergency kit is your lifeline in the event of a grid-down scenario. Pack it thoughtfully, keep it accessible, and review its contents regularly. When the grocery store shelves are bare and the delivery trucks have long since stopped running, your pantry will be your lifeline. Stocking up on food for a post-EMP world isn't about panic buying. It's about thoughtful preparation and building a reserve of sustenance that can sustain you and your loved ones through challenging times. Focus on non-perishable items with a long shelf life. Rice, beans, lentils, and oats are excellent sources of carbohydrates and can be stored for years if kept dry and cool. Canned goods such as fruits, vegetables, soups, and meats provide essential vitamins and minerals. Don't forget about flavor and variety. Spices, herbs, honey, and other condiments can make even the simplest meals more palatable. Hard candies, chocolate, and other treats can provide a much-needed morale boost during difficult times. Learning how to preserve food can significantly extend your pantry's lifespan. Canning, pickling, drying, and fermenting are time-tested methods that can transform fresh produce into shelf-stable provisions, ensuring you have access to nutritious food long after the grid goes down. Water is life, and in a post-EMP world, securing a safe and reliable water supply will be your top priority. The rule of thumb is to store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 2 weeks. But in a long-term grid-down scenario, you'll need to think beyond bottled water. Identify potential water sources in your area. Do you have a well? Is there a nearby lake, river, or stream? Once you've located a water source, you'll need a way to purify it, as even seemingly clear water can harbor harmful bacteria and contaminants. Invest in a quality water filter or purifier. There are a variety of options available, from gravity-fed filters to UV purifiers, each with its pros and cons. Learn how to use your chosen method effectively, and familiarize yourself with backup purification techniques, such as boiling or using water purification tablets. Consider collecting rainwater. Even in areas with minimal rainfall, a simple rain barrel can collect a surprising amount of water. Remember, in a survival situation, every drop counts. A well-stocked first aid kit is essential for handling everyday injuries and emergencies. But in a post-EMP world, where access to hospitals and medical professionals may be limited or non-existent, you'll need to be prepared to handle a wider range of medical situations. Expand your medical supplies beyond the basics. Include items like antibiotic ointment, burn cream, antihistamines, pain relievers, and medications for common ailments such as diarrhea and colds. If you or a family member have chronic medical conditions, ensure you have an ample supply of essential medications. Invest in a good first aid manual and take the time to familiarize yourself with basic first aid procedures. Learn how to treat cuts, burns, sprains, and fractures. Consider taking a first aid course to gain hands-on experience and build your confidence in handling medical emergencies. Don't overlook the importance of sanitation and hygiene. Stock up on soap, hand sanitizer, toilet paper, and feminine hygiene products. These items may seem mundane, but they play a crucial role in preventing the spread of disease, especially in a grid-down scenario where access to clean water and sanitation facilities may be limited. In the chaotic aftermath of an EMP attack, your home should be more than just a dwelling. It should be a sanctuary, a place of safety and security for you and your loved ones. But what if your home is no longer a viable option? What if you need to evacuate due to damage, lack of resources, or security concerns? Identifying a safe haven, a secondary location where you can seek refuge, is a crucial aspect of EMP preparedness. This could be a family member's home in a rural area, a predetermined bug-out location, or even a well-stocked cabin in the woods. When choosing a safe haven, consider factors like distance from potential targets, access to natural resources such as water and firewood, and proximity to like-minded individuals who can offer support and assistance. Ideally, your safe haven should be self-sufficient, equipped with alternative energy sources, food and water reserves, and the means to defend itself if necessary. Remember, in a grid-down scenario, your safe haven may become your long-term home, so choose wisely and prepare it thoroughly. In a world without electricity, the internet, or the convenience of modern technology, self-reliance becomes paramount. Skills that were once considered hobbies or relics of a bygone era will become essential for survival. The more you know how to do for yourself, the less reliant you'll be on systems that may no longer exist. Start by mastering the basics of fire starting. Learn how to build a fire using different methods, such as friction-based techniques or a magnifying glass. Practice using a fire starter, such as a ferro rod, to ensure you can create a spark even in damp conditions. Water purification is another crucial skill. Familiarize yourself with different purification methods, such as boiling, using water purification tablets, or constructing a DIY water filter. Knowing how to make water safe to drink can mean the difference between life and death. Learn basic gardening techniques. Even a small vegetable garden can provide a source of fresh produce, supplementing your food stores. Consider learning how to hunt, fish, or trap small game, as these skills can provide a valuable source of protein in a long-term survival situation. In the aftermath of a disaster, the bonds of community can mean the difference between despair and resilience. Building a support network of like-minded individuals who share your values and preparedness mindset can provide invaluable assistance, resources, and emotional support. Connect with neighbors, friends, and family members who are also interested in preparedness. Share information, resources, and skills. Consider forming a mutual assistance group where members can rely on each other for help in times of need. Attend preparedness expos, join online forums, and participate in local survival groups to connect with others who understand the importance of self-reliance. The more connections you forge, the stronger your support network will become. Remember, a strong community is built on trust, communication, and a willingness to help others. By fostering these qualities within your support network, you'll be creating a resilient and supportive community capable of weathering any storm. An EMP attack, while a frightening prospect, is not an insurmountable challenge. The key to navigating such an event lies in acknowledging the threat, understanding its potential impact, and taking proactive steps to prepare for it. We've explored the nature of EMPs, their devastating effects on our technology-dependent world, and the importance of building resilience in the face of such a disaster. Remember, preparedness is not about living in fear. It's about empowering yourself with knowledge, skills, and resources to face the unknown with confidence. It's about taking control of your destiny and ensuring the safety and well-being of yourself and your loved ones. The steps you take today to prepare for an EMP attack are an investment in your future. They are a testament to your determination to not just survive, but to thrive, even in the face of extraordinary circumstances. The world after an EMP attack may seem daunting, but it will also be a time of great opportunity. It will be a time to rediscover the importance of community, self-reliance, and the simple joys of life. It will be a time to rebuild, to innovate, and to create a more resilient and sustainable future. Embrace the challenge. Don't let fear paralyze you. Use the knowledge you've gained to educate others, to build bridges of support, and to create a network of prepared individuals ready to face whatever the future may hold. Remember, the human spirit is incredibly resilient. We've overcome challenges throughout history, and we will overcome this one as well. By preparing for the unexpected, by embracing the power of community, and by never losing sight of hope, we can not only survive an EMP attack, but emerge from it stronger and more connected than ever before.